You will probably encounter 3 different type of capacitors while you're running a maintenance or a diagnostic call. The first one, which we'll find outside on the outer unit, is going to be a dual run cap. In this case, this one is a 45 by 5. You will see you have your C for your common terminal, the fan for the fan terminal, and hermetic, which is basically your compressor for your compressing terminal. This one is a single capacitor, which you'll most of the time find on the indoor unit. This will be for your indoor fan, and it only will have one reading, which is a 5 microfarads, and then it does not have any readings here because it doesn't matter. You can alternate the terminals whenever you hook it up. You can hook up this way and that way, or that way and this way. It does not make a difference. And last but not least, you will find one of these on your hard start kits or compressor savers. You will notice that these ones have a range, so this one is between 270 and 324. All 3 are reading microfarads, so you have microfarads right here, MFD. You're going to have microfarads right here, MF, and microfarads over here, MF. These ones will also have a plus minus. Both of these are plus minus 6%. So when we read them, you can have a variance of 6%, and the capacitor is still going to be working properly within manufacturer specs. This one does not have a plus minus, but it does have a range. So when we measure this one, we want it to be between 270 and 324. So you would take your meter, put it on MFD, put that guy right there, get that started, and we'll start with this one first. A dual run cap, the way you would measure it, for the fan side, you would put 1 lead on common, the other one on fan, and then when you want to check your compressor, you're going to do common to Herm. So let's see what we got here. When you use your leads, you can pick whichever color one on either one. It does not make a difference. So we're going to go common to fan first, to hermetic first, and this one is going to read 46.8. and it is rated at 45. So it's a little bit over, which is good because you can get over plus or minus. Then we're going to go check the fan. So I'm going to put one on common, the other one on fan. And that's going to read 5.22, which is good too because we can go over by a little bit on that 5. Put this guy here. This one. When we measure this one, because as I said, there's no common, it doesn't matter if you measure this way or that way. It's the exact same thing. So let's see this guy here. So this one reads 5.2, which is good too, because it's supposed to be 5, and it's a little bit over by the 6%. Your compressor saver, again, there's a range, so same way like we just did on the previous one, it doesn't matter which side you put your leads on. So we'll pick just one side and the other side. $345. So let's look at this for a minute. You were at between 270 and 324, so you're good to go. We'll put that on the side. This one is an older one, so this one's rated at 80 and 7.5, plus minus 5%. So let's see what this one reads. So again, this one being a dual, you can have your common, your hermetic for your compressor, and your fan for your fan. Go over here. So that is reading 7.5, and your fan is reading 7.62. So if you do the math on an 80% and on an 80 capacitor that is plus minus 5%, this 80 can drop down to 76. We're at 75. So at this point, by manufacturer specs, this capacitor could be changed out. Sometimes you can also find visual damage, like on this one, for example. You'll see right here where the common is all melted up. the plastic. It still reads good, but this plastic, the melted plastic, is an indication that most likely at one point the connections on here were loose. Because I don't know if you can see, there's also all this little grut right here. So we did show this to the homeowner, and the homeowner did want it replaced because, again, he wanted a little bit more of a worry-free ownership. You will see sometimes the top of these will be completely bubbled up. Or like on the bottom, they'll be swollen. That's an indication that the capacitor, the inside of it, has failed. At that point, if you try to read across, you will read open line, so no readings. Sorry. And also as a result, you'll notice that either the fan or that compressor is not going to be running at all. So step number one, take your leads off, measure it with your meter on microfarads. If those readings are way below tolerance, go ahead and replace the capacitor. If that does not get your compressor or your fan started, at that point you probably have a bad motor or no power to the unit. So just continue with your diagnostic.